Coming up on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about the theater in Sacramento, and there are two theater companies who are visiting us, and you'll find that the theater in Sacramento, all the theaters are really tuning up now. We're moving into a new phase, and their seasons are beginning. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. So with me in the studio is Greg Parker. He is an actor with the California Stage Theater Company in beautiful downtown Sacramento. And they are opening in January with a play. It isn't January, right?
That's
yes. Right. Okay. Whoa. We're a couple of months early, but they're opening with a play called, what's it called? It's called An Iliad. And it has been playing across the United States. And welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ray. It's great to be here and to be out.
Yeah, great to be anywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to be anywhere right now.
Yeah. So, at any rate, this play, did it intrigue you, and did you bring it?
Greatly. Richard Winters, who's our director, and I kind of discovered this play throughout the COVID experience of being indoors, and we were reading it over and just talking back and forth, and we thought it was probably one of the strongest scripts that either of us has ever read as far as storytelling, classic storytelling, you know, from the point of view of, like, you know, the Greek chorus and you know.
I tried to read it when I was younger, and I guess the copy that I got of the original was long and laborious. And I just got about maybe a quarter of the way through it.
But yeah, I think, you know, part of that is, you know, it's part of your translation. We're very lucky to, the authors that worked on this piece is Lisa Peterson and Dennis O'Hare. They're both co-authors on this play. But they worked with Robert Fagel's translation, which I think is just really easily accessible for most folks. It's a real down-to-earth kind of interpretation.
Does it lose its kind of high-minded poetry?
I think it does. It still has some high-minded poetry just because of the nature of the piece, but it also it's very pedestrian. It talks to the regular man, you know, or the regular woman that's out there, you know. So. Good,
because we want those people to see your play.
Right? We sure hope so.
No, we want some odd people.
Yeah.
We want them too, of course.
Well, I mean, it's just in this particular version of it. This is called An Iliad, not the Iliad.
Yeah.
It runs about 90 minutes, and it has a great deal of prose in it as well. So it's basically it's like going into a bar and talking to someone and him telling you a good story.
Yeah, but I've read the reviews. In fact, I have a review from one, and they just say how wonderful and how powerful, you know. It also says gamers looking for a live gore fest should be warned.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating.
Well, you know, what's fascinating, I think, in a lot of the reviews that I've read, is that it's one person who takes on dozens of different roles. Oh, yeah. And you have to be able to snap from character to character to character really quickly. And it's exciting because you are seeing one man going through the torments of an entire war. This character, he basically is a poet who we kind of imagine is part of this first expeditionary group of the Greeks going to Troy. And turns out that, you know, basically this person who's part of this group, this poet, he kind of travels throughout time, and it's like Sisyphus. His duty is to tell this story over and over again until mankind stops having wars. So you can see we're still having wars.
I'd applaud that, yeah. I'd applaud that. How we stop it, I don't know. You know, but but this is a good thing for you all to do.
Yeah, we're having a good time, and it's very relevant to what's going on right now. It has a plague involved in this war. It's the loss of people that it's heart wrenching, and it really is. It's just it seems like every time I rehearse these words, I'm reminded of something that happened within the last couple months. It's very relevant to today's time.
So it'll open on the 7th of January at the Wilkerson Theater in Midtown Sacramento, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. That's what it says right here. Plays Fridays and Saturdays at 8 and
Yes,
Sundays at 2.
That's correct. We're doing 3 shows a week for
That's
it.
good. And and look at there is a, right up, they put it up right there, and there it is. And 451-5822 is the number there, and you can get on their website at California Stage and have a look more about that. So this is a fun event in terms of, I'm sure that theater company and all the theater companies are happy to get their actors on stage, and actors are happy to get up out of their...
Yeah. Well, I certainly, as one, have found this to be a great opportunity. And also it's great for me because it's a single-person show, so I don't have to worry about rehearsing with other folks, really, and so our COVID precautions are all in there.
Oh, that's right. It's all on your shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit daunting, but it's a really powerful script.
Good. And the Iliad is like almost one story after another, and it's...
Yeah, and in this particular piece, we have 7 different scenes that occur. And so, for instance, one of those is Hector. One is Achilles. One is, Hector's wife and Andromache and his son Astyanax. There's, one about Achilles' shield and Hephaestus, the great armor.
Oh, yes, right.
So it's really interesting. It basically tries to stay in order with the piece, but it's told from the point of view of someone who knows the Iliad, and who's seen it firsthand, and then is just relating what he saw. So it's like basically you go to a bar and you sit down, and someone next to you starts telling you a story about what they saw the other day. That's really what it's like.
Could I don't know, it's hard, but could you do a little bit of the scene?
Sure.
A scene for us?
Yeah, I think I could, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm sure.
All right.
All right. Okay, so here we go. You're going to hear Greg Parker do a scene from An Iliad.
The man called Hector, shining Hector, Hectoro Scipio de Moyo, Hector, breaker of horses. Now, it's always so hard to describe Hector, He's a brave man, but deep down, he'd rather be taming horses. But Hector, he's the firstborn, and he's got dozens, and I mean dozens of brothers and sisters, more than 50 by various mothers. And I can't remember all the names now, and I'd have to look that up. It's all written down somewhere, but one brother especially, Paris. Every time Hector sees Paris, he can't seem to stop yelling at him. And for good reason, of course, because Paris was the kind of... Paris actually figured out a way to make the case that it was better for him to stay inside with the women than go out and fight. And even when he did try to fight once, Aphrodite swooped down, picked him up by the scruff of his neck, wrapped him in a blanket of fog, and tossed him back in Helen's bed. And he stayed there. That's who Paris was. It was something like, but if I go and if they catch me, they'll hold me for ransom, and you'll be put in an awkward position. Better for me to, stay here and live out my days knowing I'm a coward. And you couldn't argue with someone like that because he'd actually made your case for you, and you were like, you are a coward. You know what I mean? And everyone always wants to hear more about Paris. That's a little piece of it for you.
Okay, bravo, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really exciting. Those characters just come alive.
They do. It's a really fun story.
Good. So the thing about this is that it's like the first production of the California Stage season in one of those 3 theaters, and you'll be in the Wilkerson Theater, which is
Yes.
it's not a big theater, but it has a nice big stage.
No, I think it's really beautiful theater, actually. In Sacramento, I've been in all the different theaters, and although it is quaint and small, it's comfy. It's really a beautiful little space. And I've been rehearsing in the other spaces too. So I've been rehearsing in the Three Penny, which is, I think, the Three Penny, I believe, is what it's called. My
the
mind
Three
is-
Penny. Yeah.
But that's it's a much smaller theater. But even that one is it's a little gem in
Yeah.
the middle of Sacramento, and then the larger theater. Maybe in the future we'll perform in there, but we want to really see. It's nice to have a nice intimate space for this particular piece.
Yes, and it's a really great piece. So it's a storytelling play.
Yes,
and it
definitely.
leads you through those things. Very exciting to do. So, and people want information about that. We'll have a little screen come up before we go, and we want to thank you for coming to talk to us about this.
Thank you for having me and putting out the word, Ray. We
Okay.
really appreciate you.
Well, it's called An Iliad, and it'll open in January, and you can actually get reservations now and get to the www Cal stage, and there it is up on the screen. Thank you so much, Greg Parker. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, we'll take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be back with part 2 of our theater openings.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
It's called Actors Theater of Sacramento. It's been around for a zillion years, and they do plays and a lot of large cast plays. And if you didn't know, Shakespeare tends to be large casts. Well, this Shakespeare play is called Twelfth Night, and with me in the studio are Matthew Farrell and Lori Nalligan. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you
Close,
almost got it
close.
right.
Okay, close
Langan.
for government work. Okay. Well, welcome and thank you so much. And I love your costumes; they're good.
you.
They're not Shakespearean.
They are not. They are from the 1920s.
Oh,
and
so
that is-
so it's set in the 1920s.
It is set
It
in
is, and we've cut a bit of the play to add some nice 20s music. We have a good amount of Cole Porter, and we have some nice live music actually being played as well throughout the
Live
production.
music in a
Yeah.
theater in Sacramento.
Yes,
theater.
and we have some wonderful singers.
We do.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
Okay.
really
Well,
fun.
sounds like a place to go. And when are you opening? You're opening soon, right?
We already opened actually.
Wow!
This was last
Yeah, we
weekend.
opened last week.
Yeah.
You opened last week. Fantastic.
Right during the storm. A great time to open.
Oh,
the
well, yeah,
production.
well, you know, the actors get their lines in the second week, you know that.
Yeah, and we play for 4 more weekends.
4 more weekends, and that's at the California Stage Theater in beautiful downtown Sacramento.
That's right.
So, someone can find it by Googling Actors Theater of Sacramento.
They can. It's also on Eventbrite, Sacramento 365, as well as
SACB and
SAC-B.
also Sacramento News and Review.
Okay,
It's
good.
all of them.
So good. This
Yeah.
is great. And so it's directed by who?
Ed Claudio and Mark Heckman.
Oh, Mark Heckman, very
Co-directed.
wonderful actor. I know of his work, and he's also a very good director. Yeah. So it's very special, and I'm interested in the two characters that you play.
Sure, I play Countess Olivia. I'm kind of the straight man girl, if you will. I'm very sad at the beginning of the play because I recently lost my father and brother, and throughout the play I transform. But I would say I'm the high status countess.
I could see that.
Thank you. Yeah, the costumes are amazing.
And who's this guy with the fancy bow?
This is my steward, Malvolio.
The poor Rube, yes. the closest thing to, I think, a villain that this play may have. But
Yeah.
I'm the stalwart steward Malvolio.
So what does he want, this evil guy?
Well, he is deeply in love with his Countess, Olivia, and really wants to raise in his stature. So he's doing everything he can to find his way there, and
Oh, yeah.
stumbles quite a bit along the way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
a big practical joke is played on him, so he actually thinks that the Countess is in love with him because he found a letter written supposedly in her hand, but she never wrote it.
She never wrote it.
Spoilers.
Ooh, yeah. Shakespeare's about the levels of a society, and which still exists in
True.
England.
Most places.
Of course, it exists here, only we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Swept under the rug.
That's right. And anyhow, it's a fascinating thing. And what are the dates again? It plays through February 5th, and it plays
No,
for.
No, it plays
that was
through the
last
weekend before Thanksgiving,
So I
Oh,
think
that's
it's,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Why do
November
I have February 5th? Oh, no,
21st.
November 21st.
Friday and Saturday nights at 8, and Sunday matinee at 2.
That's good. Matinees, oh yeah, Sundays. That sounds like my mother used to take me there. There it is up on the screen, and you can also get information and tickets at 916-501-6104. So that, we'll put that little screen up again before we close, folks. So if you didn't get your pencil, get it now. So, it's an interesting thing about Shakespeare. Is this play done often?
I think so.
I think it is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is probably one of his most put up plays, I would guess. And especially right now, to me, having a really nice positive play with a lot of fun and music kind of helps you forget about everything else that may be going on.
These are
It's-
tough times we're going through right now,
It's
but
really
we're going to go through
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
The
It's
fact that the
really
theaters
fun.
are opening up is a sense of direction and all of that. I'm
No,
very
it's
pleased.
fun, and it's fast-paced, and there's music, and of course the costumes, and
Oh yeah, lovely costume.
thank you.
Yeah,
Laura
That
Luke.
vest looks really great.
That's lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
It matches the
I don't want to
bow
give this
tie.
Yeah, oh, it
back.
goes with the bow tie, it surely does. So, okay, it's good, and you two are actors in Sacramento, and you work with that company and other companies as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yes, we've done a couple plays together. We've been in one-act festivals. Last year, before the pandemic, we did Midsummer Night's Dream together.
Aha, so you like doing Shakespeare.
Oh, yes.
I
Very much
love
so.
it. I love Shakespeare. Love
Well,
it.
Obviously, he's been around for a long time, a number of years. And I love the history of Shakespeare, too. There's some interesting histories I've run across. Shakespeare used to travel back and forth between Stratford and London, and he used to stop at a certain pub and live upstairs and all of that. And he had an affair there, and he had a son, and his son became probably in the 30 years later the largest, most beloved playwright in England. Nobody knows that
Wow.
little thing.
Wow.
It's
That's a
interesting.
good tidbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting to check it out because I always wonder whether or not, because we know where Shakespeare's buried, we know where that son is buried, so it becomes apocryphal unless you do a DNA test. So, would you two do a scene from the play for me?
Sure,
we'd
be
love
happy
to.
to.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
We'd love
since
to.
we're here.
Okay, just this once.
Just
Okay,
one.
okay, just this once. Okay, so Matt and Lori, what's the scene?
So in this scene, Malvolio has found the letter that he thinks the Countess wrote, and meanwhile the Countess is in love with someone completely, another person completely, who is
Very undeserving
very
of her love.
From your
from
point
your
of
From
view.
point of
Malvolio's
view.
perspective.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
actually. It's really fun.
Why don't you hit it and we'll have a look.
All right, sounds
great.
good.
Okay, well, this is Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, and this is a scene from it, and it stars Matt Farrell and Laurie Naligan as Olivia, and Matt as Malvolio.
How now, Malvolio?
Sweet lady, ho, ho.
Smilest thou? I sent for thee upon a sad occasion.
Sad, lady, I could be sad. This does bring some obstruction in the blood, this cross-gartering, but what of that? If it please the eye of one, it is with me as the very true sonnet is. Please one and please all.
How dost thou, man? What is the matter with thee?
Well, not black in my mind, though yellow in my legs. It did come to his hands, and commands shall be executed. I think we do know the sweet Roman hand.
Wilt thou go to bed, Malvolio?
To bed. Aye, sweetheart, and I'll come to thee.
God comfort thee. Why dost thou smile so and kiss thy hand so oft?
Be not afraid of greatness, 'twas well writ.
What meanest thou by that, Malvolio?
Some are born great.
Huh?
Some achieve greatness.
What sayest thou?
And some have greatness thrust upon them.
Restore thee.
Remember who commended thy yellow stockings.
Thy yellow stockings.
And wished to see thee cross-gartered.
Cross-gartered. Oh, this is very midsummer madness. That's it.
Bravo! Oh, thank you. I heard all of those quotes, Midsummer Madness, and thrust upon.
Iconic.
I didn't know that was from Shakespeare. That's
Yep.
what went through my head.
Yep.
So that's so wonderful. Well, we have to say goodbye, I think. Isn't that correct, boss? Yes, we do. And so we're going to pull it out a little bit, and I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
So what is it that happens next in this scene?
Olivia runs away, and Malvolio completely misreads the entire scene, and he goes on to explain to the audience in his own
But he gets his
thoughts.
just desserts. That's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping for.
Oh,
Yeah.
All good.
I don't
Well,
get her,
okay.
those are my just desserts.
You do.
Leaves here.
Yes, that's well. Maybe that's a Shakespeare quote too.
Interpretation.
Thanks for that great scene, and thanks for your show. And folks, Twelfth Night, or what you will. It's by William Shakespeare. What? We have 5 minutes? Fantastic. Let me ask you some more questions
Sure.
about this. There it is up there, and it opens on, or it has opened, I can see it there, and it plays through the 21st. Okay. So, it's in the big theater of the California
It's
Stage
in the big
Theater
California
in
stage.
Midtown,
Yep.
and folks can get seats.
Absolutely.
Right now. They can just jump
Folks
to
can
the
get
telephone.
seats right now, and everybody in the cast is vaccinated, and everyone in the audience will be wearing masks. And when people move out and about, people will be wearing masks.
So it's all
The
safe.
normal
that's-
stuff.
And I think
Yeah.
that's a good policy even now, as we come out of these times.
It's a great Shakespeare for anyone who has never seen Shakespeare.
That's right. It sounds like a funny thing too.
Oh, it's very funny. It's funny.
And
It's fast paced.
That's good. And the director choose to do this scene? It's set in the 1920s.
I think that he was looking for some inspiration, and he thought that would be really fun, and the costumes are really fun, and he loves, Ed loves Cole Porter music. I mean, who doesn't love
I think
music of
the
20s?
music was the great instigator of the time frame, because he really wanted to incorporate a bunch of those jazzy songs, you know.
Yeah.
It's 100 years ago. It's the 20s now, so,
Yeah, we were in that kind of
Quite
period,
fitting.
or almost there.
we could use it.
And the themes of the show lend themselves really to any time period. Mistaken identities, falling in love with the wrong person.
Absolutely. Good. You like doing comedy, don't you?
I do like doing comedy. I like hearing people laugh. So I hope when people come, I hope they will laugh.
Well, I think that they will. I've seen this play a couple times before, and not in this period, though. And I think it's his best. I think it's part of Shakespeare's best works. So, folks, 12th night or what you will, and tickets are on sale right now. It's at 1721 25th Street, the California Stage Theater.
Thank you,
All
Ray.
right, thank you both for coming to see us on LiveWire, and please come on back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's it for today. We'll be back next week, yes, with another show. Hopefully you'll see more and more theater companies and dance companies and all kinds of arts happening soon, and we'll get right to it. We'll see you next week on LiveWire. That was fun. It was all good.